And just overall in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League, managers, including, of course, Pioneers manager Matt Birch, are just doing their best to rotate players, give everyone an opportunity to take the field and work on whatever parts of their game they really came here to improve. And for McGee, yeah, this is his chance. He's a guy who's shown some potential in the past, both at the plate and with a strong arm as a backstop, and he's going to try to show that in the beginning in this game.
As the players running out to the field with their baseball buddies. Elmira coming in here with their top 4 hitters in the top 10 of the PGCBL. As Dixon coming in, leading the team overall, hitting .474. Nick Walker at .455. Then Chris Kaluzdian hitting at .444. And then Christian Santisteban hitting at .412. And as we spoke about earlier, Chris Kaluzdian getting his first home run of the season, as he is tied for second with 8 other players that have had 1 home run on the year. As we'll take a break now here as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. And with that, we will get you the line here for tonight's starting pitcher for the Albany Dutchman, number 42, Kevin Landgrebe. Take a look at what he's done this year for the Dutchman, as he's coming in with a 9 ERA. This will be his first start in his second appearance of the year. He's thrown 1 inning, gave up 1 run on 1 hit, also walked a batter as he faced 4 batters. Batters hitting .250 against him, had 1 wild pitch so far for Albany this season.
Yeah, but for Dutchman, I guess I'm sure that manager Nick Davey knew that he was going to start Landgrebe in this game, so he gets a tune-up outing, get him on the mound. Corvus Christi stopped playing quite a while ago, so you just really want to get him back on the mound, get him locked in towards the strike zone. Results weren't really there, but now he enters the start, just having been on the mound, a little bit more of a feel for pitching, and he's going to be at his best, and the Pioneers, they're going to have an interesting time as they go up against him.
As for Elmira, leading things off, it'll be Kaluzdian, Dixon, and Walker. For Elmira, Kaluzdian had a great game yesterday against the Diamond Dogs as he picked up his first home run of the year. Also had a 4-for-5 effort and did pick up a stolen base. As really, we didn't even talk about the number 9 batter for Elmira, but Taylor Hilson. But Elmira's got a great 9-1-2, and sometimes we talked yesterday, I think that happened 5 times where it was the 9-1-2 going off the inning for Elmira, and I think they've found a good combination, maybe a sleeper in Taylor Hilson here early on in his collegiate career.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Hilson has really impressed the most defensively at third base. He's made a bunch of plays, including bare hand grabs on bunts or soft ground balls. He makes them look routine, and they really would be a difficult play for almost any other third baseman in this league. But he's done a great job with that. He's had a couple of big hits. He's entering this contest Super 14, looking to improve upon that. It's really these guys like Hilson and really the 5 through 9 hitters in the lineup that have to step up. As the top 4 is living excellent, let's see about everyone else.
So with that, we will get things kicked off as the catcher, Jake Hansen, made his throw down to second. And it will be Chris Kaluznian to step in for Elmira. As Kaluznian on the air for the Pioneers, leading the way in the top spot, hitting .455. The first pitch he sees from Landgrebe is going to be inside for ball. Pretty good view tonight, Robbie, of home plate. Almost centered right behind the umpire, just a little to the left. As Kaluznian's going to swing. A chopper to the shortstop. The throw to first is going to be in time. As it was a bang-bang play over at first. A nice throw by Danny Urbeck. As he's going to get the first out.
And for Kaluznian, he's a guy, he hits a pretty decent amount of ground balls. If you make a mistake, he will run it into it and hit a home run. But you look at him, really running well at the first baseline. Hits that one a little softer, he might beat it out.
So left-handed batting, Dixon steps in. And a breaking pitch here will sail high for ball one. Pioneers trying to keep their early fortunes going as their last 3 of their 4 games have scored in the first inning. And taking early leads on teams. Count now 2-0 to Dixon. And there's a fastball that paints the outer half of the plate. Coming to you live from Bob Elise Field in Albany, New York. The Pioneers taking on the Dutchman for the first time in 2014. Now here's a chopper again to the shortstop. Herbeck, his throw to first is in time. As he is going to get the base runner, Dixon. And with 2 away, that will bring in Nick Walker out of Old Dominion as he steps in.
Yeah, and for Landgrave so far in this game, he's gotten some good late movement on his fastball, forced a couple of ground balls. Let's see if the Pioneers can make an adjustment, maybe elevate the ball just a little better.
And first pitch fastball here is that one paints the inner half of the plate. Walker quickly stepped out, but he's back in and ready. Good pace here to start off the game. And now a chopper on the right side. The second baseman, Lee, fields it, throws across in time. And it's a 1-2-3 inning for Landgrebe. And the Dutchman will come to the plate here in the bottom half of the first inning. As we'll take a quick break. When we come back, it'll be the Pioneers out in the field and Taylor Ahern making his first start of the 2014 season for the Pioneers. You're listening to our Pioneers Baseball on the Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
So for Dixon is also ground ball shortstop?
What?
Dixon was also grounded
yes,
shortstop?
Yep.
I thought it was
6'3", 6'3", 4'3".
Yeah, I wanted to get some confirmed.
We're also
we're going to have to plug this camera in eventually. It's already down to 2.
Okay.
So at some point we're going to have to try and maybe find a way that we can get the power cord. It's not going to be able to, don't do it now, but it's not going to be able to reach from there. I don't know what we're going to be able to do. I don't know. We'll have to figure something out. Okay.
Purchase as many programs as you would like for more chances to win. Tonight's lucky program prizes include a Dutchman game hat, a t-shirt, a 4-pack of Dutchman tickets, a mini bat, and a tri-team baseball.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the Pioneers just about getting set to get things underway here in the bottom of the first inning as they were set down 1-2-3 in the top half of the inning by Kevin Landgrebe. Doug Page alongside Robbie Knopf here. Elmira looking to try and snap a 2-game losing streak and go back above 500 after starting the year off 2-0. And for Taylor Ahern, making his first start of 2014 for the Pioneers, he will face Miller, Espinal, and Lee for the Dutchman.
And for Ahern, obviously a big start, his first outing as a member of the Elmira Pioneers, but once again, he's someone looked very comfortable as a freshman at Siena, and let's see what he can do in the Perfect Game Collegiate Baseball League this summer.
So Miller stepping in. He leads the Dutchman with a .462 batting average. 6 hits and 13 trips to the plate, 1 double, and an RBI. As this is his 4th game that he started, but the 5th game that he's seen action in. And it's a first pitch called strike from Taylor Ahern to start off this bottom half of the first inning. An overcast evening here in Albany. A lot of rain moved through earlier in the day. First pitch was 65 degrees on the thermometer. And now a pitch high and inside made Miller back off of the plate.
Yeah, 2 pitches from Ahern, but you already see it's a lot of movement on his fastball. Can really push a lot of weak contact with that. Let's see if he can just stay within the strike zone, and of course those weak swings.
And the 1-1 offering, and as McGee had to move his glove low and outside to get that one, so the count goes to 2 balls and a strike. First time that these two have paired together.
Yeah, and McGee, first time cashing all year, so this is a big game for him as well.
And now the 2-1 is just fouled back into the netting, as that was a straight fastball from Ahern.
You know, always frustrating for a hitter when you foul it straight back, and, you know, just a little bit earlier, you might have had a line drive single to center. So Ahern gets away with one there, but now he's 2 strikes trying to put the hitter away.
And now the 2-2 delivery here from Ahern is swung on a number over towards first base. Bellinger fields it. He has to toss it to Ahern, and he steps down the bag to get the speedy Will Miller over at first.
And that's the case for Ahern, where that was such a good pitch that the contact was so weak that now suddenly you have a speedy runner going to first, and Ahern really had to hustle there to get to first base in time, but he does so successfully, and that's the first out of the first inning, and a great way for him to start off this ball game.
So Sean Aspinall will step in, the right fielder for the Dutchman. Aspinall attending Azusa Pacific University. As the first pitch to him will miss outside. 4 ball.
And Ahern, he's also an outfielder, really a smaller athletic pitcher. And he's able to get the ball a little bit down better there, but misses 2-0. And with smaller pitchers, you always worry about, can they get the ball down consistently without that natural downward plane on their pitches? Let's see how he does in this outing, really getting there consistently.
Aspinall batting .417 on the year, tied for second on the team. As this 2-0 pitch will be called for a strike on the outer half part of the plate. Aspinall, 5 hits and 12 at-bats on the air, 2 of those going for extra bases and doubles. He's also driven in a team-high 4 runs on the air. And the pitch is swung on, a high fastball, chopped over to second, and bobbled a little bit, and the throw over is not going to be in time, as the runner Aspinall is going to be safe on the bobbled ball by Walker at second, and they're going to give that an E4. And that will bring in the left fielder Josh Lee with a runner on and 1 out. And for number 21, Josh Lee, a redshirt junior out of Lipscomb.
Yeah, and for Walker at second base, he's had a little bit of issues this season. Almost, I think it's a mental issue right now, and he just has to find a way to get through this and start making those plays more consistently. Ahern really needs those outs.
Ahern out of the stretch, delivers, and this fastball is going to go high as McGee had to jump out of his crouch there to get the ball.
Yeah, and so far this game, we have had contact 5 times, all 5 times on the ground. So these 2 pitchers already do a decent job forcing ground balls.
Then a throw over there to check the runner Aspinall. He's 0 for 1 this year in the stolen base category. And as a team, the Albany Dutchmen are 6 for 15.
That really is not the percentage you want.
And a pitch here is going to be swung on and fouled out a play over off the first base side. So those 16 stolen bases are just 1 more than T.J. Dixon has alone himself, as he is 6 for 5 on the year. And that took a really great throw yesterday in the Mohawk Valley game to get him out at second, as he has lightning speed around the base paths.
And Albany really has speed themselves, but speed isn't the only part of stealing bases.
Now a 1-1 from Ahern, as a good fastball there as he muscles it by the batter, Josh Lee.
Yeah, for stolen bases, you really have to do a good job reading the picture. Can you figure out when he's going to deliver and when he's going to throw to first? Can you get a feel for when is he going to throw a fastball, when is he going to throw a breaking ball? And so far, Dutchman not able to execute. We'll have to see if they can change that.
Yeah, this one fouled back into the netting. So the count stays at a ball and 2 strikes. A base runner on here for the Dutchman, as the runner Aspinall reached on an error by the second baseman, Nick Walker.
And for Ahern, the errors of the past now just has to find a way to work around it.
And the 1-2 offering is outside. McGee, a nice job there to glove that one and save it from going to the backstop.
Yeah,
Not a lot of foul territory here, Robbie, is what we've seen in the past couple of games here at Bob Bellizzi Field.
Yeah, definitely a smaller ballpark and stay less foul territory. This is a pitcher's park, and when you can keep it on the ground like these two pitchers have done so far, it certainly helps you negate those park effects.
And the pitch, the runner was off. A great hit and run executed by the Dutchman. Is going for third is going to be Espinal. Quick throw from Calusi, and we know he's got a great arm. Now a throw to second is going to be no good. So Albany doing a great job of executing the hit and run. As going from first to third was Espinal, and Lee is able to get into second after the throw. And now Albany is threatening here to put some runs on in their home half of the first inning with Nick Jewett stepping in here. Jewett out of Trinity.
And for Chris Calusi in right field, we know he has an excellent arm. He had a big outfield assist the other day, but that's a case where the runner was already on second base when he got the ball, and already a little bit past it. You have to know to hold on to that ball because that allowed the runner to go to second base. Not an error, but Calusi just has to work on his decisions in a case like that.
So the first pitch is a called strike. It looked like a breaking ball there from Ahern.
Yeah, third breaking ball that we've seen so far. The first one was forced away contact and ended up as an error by Walker. Second one missed far out and away, and that one was a nice called strike. I'll have to see how he mixes that in moving forward. Jewett
batting .214 on the years. Another breaking pitch here, just misses low. Jewett, this is fourth game. 3 for 14 on the year, 1 double and 1 RBI. This is an Albany team that's driven in 16 runs on the year. Elmira, in their respect, has driven in 17. And this fastball is going to sail high. There's one out here in the bottom of the first inning. No score between the Dutchman and the Pioneers. Elmira had a 1-2-3 top half of the first against Dutchman starter Kevin Landgrebe.
Yeah, and Pioneers infield a little bit in at the corners, but they will give up the run on a ground ball to second or third base. Interesting idea of positioning by Pioneers manager Matt Birch.
And the 2-1 is a chopper to second base. That's going to bring in a run. As having to go to first is Walker. And the Dutchmen are going to take a 1-0 lead on an infield ground out by Nick Jewett. And that will bring the designated hitter Cameron Miller to the plate with 2 outs here.
And Pioneers fans, we're just talking about that positioning for a second. Why would the Pioneers play to second base and back when playing him in? Maybe you have a chance at the out at home. But if you're Pioneers manager Matt Birch, I think the 2 factors to consider are, 1, you want to avoid the big inning. 1 run is you can definitely overcome, but if you play the infield in, then it's easier to hit a line drive over one of the fielders' heads, and suddenly you might have a big inning on your hands, and that's really not what you want, especially with the young pitcher Ahern on the mound.
So Cameron Miller steps in. Ahern delivers his first pitch to him. That's swung on and missed for strike number 1. And for the designated hitter, Cameron Miller, a freshman attending Baylor, one of 2 Baylor players on the Dutchman roster. One of 10 players, though, that go to college in the state of Texas for Albany. Now the 0-1 offering. And that breaking ball will miss outside. Looked more like a slider, actually.
Yeah, that was a little more slurvy than Ahern would like. You kind of saw the big, slow movement of a curveball, but the depth wasn't really there. It stayed a little bit too far up, and he couldn't get a called strike out of it, so it's a 1-1 count.
Ahern checks the runner at third. The 1-1 offering is outside and away from the left-handed hitting Cameron Miller. Reed Matthews awaits in the on-deck circle for the Dutchman as he hopes to get up to the plate.
Ahern, meanwhile, 1 run already in, runner on third base, but there are 2 outs. He's got to make 1 good pitch and get out of this inning. Keep the Pioneers down only 1 run.
And now the 2-1 is swung on, a chopper towards second. Walker gloves it, but he's going to have no shot at a throw, but a very athletic play by Nick Walker from keeping that one going into the outfield. So it's going to be a 2-0 lead on an RBI single for Cameron Miller. And for Miller, that will be his first RBI of the season, and he will raise his batting average from 300, what it was before that at bat. And that will bring in the third baseman, Reed Matthews.
And for Walker, obviously he couldn't convert that into an out, but that's the type of play he's capable of making. Really, he moves well around second base, and hopefully he can get to some balls and hopefully turn them into outs moving forward.
Now Ahern's pitch is going to be inside for a ball.
And that one had a little bit of two-seam action. We've already seen a lot of different types of movement on Ahern's fastball. Really trying to find that consistent release point and locate it for strikes consistently. Still trying to figure out an early going of this game.
And now a chopper here, foul off the plate, and that'll go over on the third base side towards Albany Dutchman's manager Nick Davey.
Fans of Dutchman would like to thank Price Chopper.
So they count 1 ball and 1 strike here for Elmira, their third road game of 2014. They are 1-1 on the road this year, an opening win against the Watertown Rams by a score of 13-2. And then fell yesterday at the hands of the Mohawk Valley Diamond Dogs by a final of 6-4.
And that a breaking ball this low, another nice pitch, but umpire isn't giving him that low offering at bottom part of the plate, and he has to adjust the umpire strike zone.
And a pitch here in the dirt. And the catcher, McGee, had to scoop that one up as he threw his mask off, but the runner at first, Miller, wasn't going anywhere.
And if you're McGee, that's all you can do. You can't always field it cleanly, just keep it in front of you, make sure the runner doesn't go into scoring position.
Man, now the 3-1 is swung on a chopper to shortstop. That's going to be through into left field for a base hit past the diving Derek DeLear. So that's going to be the third hit of the inning for the Dutchmen. And now they've got runners on first and second with 2 away, and their catcher, Jake Hansen, stepping up to the plate.
And for Ahern, really has not looked that bad. He's really allowed a lot of contact on the ground, and so has been in perfect spots and has gone for base hits. So he knows he's executing his pitches reasonably well, and he just has to keep putting him in those spots, and those balls will end up going at fielders in the future. That's the way baseball works.
First pitch here swung on. That's going to be in the right field for a single. Going in front of the right fielder, Kaluzdian. The runner's coming home. The throw to McGee is going to be in time for the out. What a tag by Colin McGee as Kaluzdian guns down the runner from right field. Man, he's got a laser. And that's going to get Elmira out of the inning. And it'll be just a 2-0 lead for the Dutchman on the great relay throw there from Kaluzdian. He did it all himself right to the catcher McGee. And that'll end the inning. So Elmira trails 2-0 after winning a play as the Dutchmen get 2 runs on 4 hits. We'll take a break. We'll come back for the second inning. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
When are they going to learn? Oh, my God.
Can you open the door? This camera's down. Can you ask them if there's any way to get an extension cable so we can plug this camera in?
Our camera's dying. Do you have an extension cable of any kind? Our camera's dying. Do you guys have an extension cable of any kind?
Because the cable is too short.
Yeah,
Once again, fans, it is World Cup kickoff night here at Albany. We're doing many festivities, playing many different songs. It's a tribute to the American soccer team and the World Cup, which will kick off in Brazil this week.
And we're back here in the second inning of this Elmira Pioneers game on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcast Network. And we're here at Bob Bellizzi Field in Albany, New York, as the Pioneers take on the Albany Dutchmen.
Stepping in, it will be Christian Santisteban for Elmira. And the first pitch of the inning from Kevin Landgrebe will miss for a ball. Santisteban, a left-handed batter out of Manhattan, a teammate of Kaluzdian. Kaluzdian already the second runner that he's gunned out from the outfield this year. Now just in our 5th game of the season.
Yeah, and about Galusian's arm, you have to wonder when our team's going to learn. He has really shown that he has a rocket arm in right field. You don't think of it because he's really a speed guy, but really excellent arm. And another ground ball. This one's at second base. And Santistamon's going to be thrown out, running hard, but not enough this time. So that's 4 ground ball outs to begin the game for Kevin Landgrebe.
And that will bring in the Pioneers' first baseman, Zach Bellinger, who's actually playing on his home field as he goes to St. Rose. And Bob Blasey Field is the home of the St. Rose Knights.
Yeah, a little interesting that Bellinger would not be with the Dutchman, but he's actually been with the Pioneers twice before. This is going to be his 3rd year with the team. Wasn't with them last year, but was with them the previous 2 years. And 2 years ago, he actually led his team in hitting. He was a late addition, but really an impact guy, and allowed to see what he can do.
And a breaking ball here, and that's going to be fouled off of the ankle of Bellinger as he walks away. And Bellinger, as Robbie said, his 3rd stint with Elmira. Actually started with the Pioneers after he graduated his senior year of high school out of Thomas A. Edison, and then played with Elmira after his freshman year. And now he's going to be called out on strikes on a pitch on the outer half of the plate. And after his freshman year at VCU, he transferred to St. Rose, where he just finished his junior year. And that will bring in Derek DeLear out of Florida International for Elmira, the shortstop for the Pioneers.
And the first pitch, that one is going to miss low. And DeLear, a guy, he had a big hit in the season opener against Wartown, driving a couple of runs. That's his only hit of the season. He's 1 for 11, but 2 RBIs and 2 stolen bases.
Pitch swung on here, a chopper to the third baseman, and it's going to go off of his glove. And DeLear is going to be safe at first. So Elmira's got their first base runner of the ball game. And as I believe that'll go down as an error to the Dutchman and their third baseman, Reed Matthews. And indeed, it will. So mark that one down in your scorebooks as an E5. And that will bring in Joey Grana for Elmira.
Yeah, Pioneers with a base runner, a little bit of a break. And let's see if they can build some confidence now at the bottom of their order with Grana at the plate.
And a pitch here going to be fouled off and out of play into the parking lot behind us here on the third base side.
Yeah, best of luck to everyone with cars around the ballpark. Definitely, it's great to catch a foul ball. It's not so great if your car catches a foul ball. And Grana hoping to put the ball in play, not necessarily hit someone's car.
And a pitch here is called for a strike, so Grana quickly down in the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Grana actually just joined the team yesterday before their game against Mohawk Valley, as he joins his other 2 Old Dominion teammates on this Pioneers roster, and Sam Sinnen and Nick Walker. And a pitch here is going to be chopped foul over towards the Pioneers dugout on the third base side, as off and running was Derek DeLear. Elmira trying to execute a little hit and run action there, as we've seen them do very well early on this season through their first 4 games. Some do it great twice in the game against Amsterdam at home last week.
Yeah, especially with an 0-2 count. If the league gets thrown out, then you have Grana with a new count. So lead up to lose and be safe. You have a runner in scoring position.
Now an 0-2 pitch coming in from Landgrebe, and it's fouled back off of the netting. Well, lie made me flinch, even though the netting is there. Usually in Elmira, we're above that netting, so we many times get a ball back in the press box at Dunfield, but here we're below the netting. So DeLear leads off of first after he reached on a 2-out error by the Dutchman third baseman, Reed Matthews. And the pitch is going to be fouled off again over beyond the third baseline past the Pioneers bullpen. Good job here by Grana to battle. And for Grana, a left-handed batter, 6'1", 170, just finishing up his freshman year at Old Dominion by Mississauga, Ontario. One of 2 Pioneers players from north of the border. And now another 0-2 offering is going to be taken just alone inside, as the Dutchman's fan here believe they had strike 3 there. But the pitch will live another at bat here. And a throw to first here as the Lear back in safely.
Yeah, and you're on a guy really well regarded for his defense. Between him in left, you have Dixon in center, and of course we've already seen what Kaluzi can do in right. Really great defensive outfield for the Pioneers, but there he swings and misses for strike 3, and that'll be the end of the top of the second inning.
So the strikeout, Elmira will strand a runner on base. So after an inning and a half here at Bob Belize Field, the Albany Dutchmen lead the Elmira Pioneers by a score of 2-0. As heading back out to the mound for Elmira will be Taylor Ahern, as he gave up 2 runs on 4 hits in the bottom half of the first inning. But Albany did strand 2 runners, and that was mainly because the play of the Pioneers right fielder Chris Kaluzian, who gunned out a runner at home, and that was Cameron Miller. And really, it was a great throw by Kaluzian, but it was an even better play by Colin McGee to stay there so close to the plate and be able to stretch his arm out just enough to be able to tag out the runner coming into the play. Is a close play.
Yeah, Kaluzian had a very strong arm, but that throw gets a little bit offline, but McGee just finds a way to make up for it. And right as the runner goes by, like you said, he stretches out his arm and tags him. And for Ahern, that has to be a big lift. A little bit of bad luck there, an error, some ground balls go through the hole that I believe weren't hit very hard, but your defense helps you out there, and now you hope he can build some momentum here in the second inning. Yeah, and meanwhile for McGee, as he is yet to bat, he's set the lead off the top of the third inning, but already showing what he can do behind the plate, just making sure to lay down a tag there and prevent that third run of the game from scoring for Albany. And now we'll hope to settle down the young pitcher Ahern and get the Pioneers back up to the plate, down only 2 runs.
And for Albany, it'll be their 8, 9, and 1 batters, as Danny Urbeck will lead things off, the shortstop. And Urbeck, a teammate out of Radford of Pioneers catcher Jordan Taylor, as Taylor actually finishing up his sophomore year at Radford, and for Urbeck finishing up his freshman year at Radford.
And that one is outside, and Ahern behind 1-0 in the count.
Another left-handed batter here for the Dutchman, and this one swung on, and that one's going to be just fouled on the left field line. That is giving you the dimensions of Bob Belize Field here, as it's 327 down both the left field and right field foul line, and it's 406 to dead center, and then 382 to both the left and right center field gaps.
And the 1-1 is grounded. Nice play by Ahern. He'll get it, underhand flip to first base, and that'll be the first out of the inning. And for Ahern, we mentioned before, he's not only a pitcher, he has also played some outfield, and really a very athletic play right there. Nice job just being set after his delivery to make that play. Helps himself out by getting the first out of the frame.
So that'll bring in Adam Lee for the Dutchman, the second baseman. And for Lee, this is 4th game of the year, batting 200 on the year. As the first pitch from Ahern is a nice breaking ball, but going to miss just below the knees, according to the home plate umpire.
And sometimes the hitters make you pitch a little bit farther up, and sometimes the umpire does. Not getting those calls down in the zone, Ahern.
And now another pitch here is just going to miss low and away. To the batter, Lee, the number 9 hitter, so Will Miller, the leadoff batter for Albany in the on-deck circle. And the offering is inside, as having to back off the plate a little bit was Lee. And he's in the driver's seat here. 3 balls and no strikes showing on the scoreboard for Albany. Pioneers trailing the Dutchman 2-0 as we work here in the bottom of the second inning. And the 3-0 pitch is not going to catch the strike zone, so that'll be a 4-pitch walk to the number 9 batter, Lee. And it'll be the first walk issued on the night here for Ahern.
And if you're Ahern, you realize you're not really missing by all that much. Those first 2 breaking balls by another umpire, maybe you're heading to count 0-2. But that's the way things are. The at-bat's done, and now you're doing the top of the order again. You have to find a way to get them out.
So the runner, Lee, will take his lead off of first base. Pretty good lead over there. Ahern checks him out of the stretch. The pitch is a fastball for a called strike.
And Aaron's still struggling a little bit to repeat his delivery, but that's really the fastball that's looked the best. Fastball, some nice late movement down and away from these right-handed hitters, and that's a pitch that can really fool them and force those ground balls and maybe even miss some bats so if he can get the 2 strikes.
And now the 0-1, as McGee had to scoop it out of the dirt.
And that's the time when we kind of talk about what's called pitch framing. So a lot of times it's like the umpire making a good call or bad call, but as a catcher, trying to present it as well as possible. McGee, he has to kind of reach down a little bit for that one and made it look like a worse pitch than it really was.
Now Ahern taking his time. The 1-1 is swung on a chopper to third. A scoop by Hilson. Flips to second. The turn in time for the double play. And just like that, Elmira gets out of the inning with the inning-ending double play. Around the horn, the 5-4-3. As going to the dugout, Taylor Ahern giving Taylor Hilson a high five there. As that'll end the second inning. So through 2 here at Bob Bellizzi Field, the Pioneers trail the Albany Dutchmen 2-0. We'll take a break. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
So 2 big defensive plays behind Ahern so far. And Hilson's great at turning that around the horn double play. McGee.
That is correct. Congratulations, Jason. Let's give him a round of applause.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Page alongside Robbie Knopf as we get set to kick off the top of the 3rd inning here from Bob Bellizzi Field. Pioneers looking to try and cut into this Dutchman lead as they trail 2-0. And it'll be their catcher, Colin McGee, stepping in to get his first swing of the night.
Yeah, I guess the second at bat of the season, and he definitely wants to begin his first start with a hit, or at least get on base in some way. Or do a nice tag to end the bomb in the first inning. That one, breaking ball gets outside, and McGee quickly ahead, 1-0.
Man, McGee chops this one down the left field line. Could be tough, and that one's going to drop just foul as the Bermuda Triangle was forming out there for the Dutchman as the outfielders shading McGee to the right. So the left fielder, Josh Lee, was playing well off of the line. Had a long run for that one.
And especially for a player really just beginning his season here in the Private Game Collegiate Baseball League, you only notice scouting report for sure. So a little bit of a guess trying to figure out where to position your fielders. And that one misses low, and McGee is ahead 2-1.
McGee showing a nice touch there, laying off that breaking ball. Looked tempting. And now he chops a fastball foul off the top of his foot here that'll go over towards the Pioneers dugout. Count still holds at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the top of the 3rd for Elmira. They trail Albany 2-0. And the pitch from the starter, Kevin Landgrebe, for the Dutchman is going to be low and away. And our first full count for Elmira of the game.
And for McGee, nice job recognizing a couple of breaking balls here. And sometimes as a catcher, you're dealing with a catching of pitches all the time. Sometimes they can help you see them just a little bit better.
And the pitch is going to be low and inside as McGee had to move out of the way. So that is going to be Elmira's second base runner of the game. And it'll be the first walk issued by Landgrebe.
Yeah. And here's Hilson at the plate, the player who turned the second great defensive play behind Taylor Ahern so far in this game, starting that 5-4-3 double play. And so far this year, Hilson has really been the Pioneers' best defensive infielder. And his next step is to try to contribute at the plate as well.
Taylor Hilson has started all 4 games for Elmira, making his 5th start here tonight. As the pitch attempts a chopper off the glove of the third baseman. The throw to first is going to be just in time to get Hilson, who was chugging down the first base line. So Elmira avoids the double play. As going to second is McGee. And there will be one away, and things go back to the top of the lineup as Chris Kaluzian will step in. As he's 0 for 1 on the night.
Yeah, now runner in scoring position, and Kaluzian definitely one of those guys you want out the plate in a big situation. And Kaluzian squares the bunt, but he takes a strike there. He's behind the count 0-1, but that's a strategy we saw the Pioneers execute quite well yesterday. Just gives the third baseman something to think about, and especially after a couple of rough times fielding ground balls.
And the 0-1 is going to be a called strike to Kaluzian.
And also the best part about the bunt is you have guys like Kaluzian and Dixon. They're fast enough to beat those out. If they can connect, I guess keep it fair down to third baseline.
Kaluzian out of Manhattan. Had his first homer yesterday. This ball gets by the catcher, Hansen, and heading over to third is going to be McGee. And Elmira has now got a runner 90 feet away from the plate here. And the count is the ball and 2 strikes with just 1 away in the inning. And T.J. Dixon in the on-deck circle for Elmira.
And Kaluzian, he has a big opportunity here. He's hit a ground ball to shortstop like he's done before, and you're going to drive in the first run of the game for the Elmira Pioneers.
And the 1-2 is swung on and fouled back out of play by Kaluzian as he was on that fastball just a little late. So for Colin McGee, should he score here, this would actually be the second run he scored on the year, as he did make a pinch running appearance earlier in the year. And now he's shot here to left field. Kaluzian, this one's going to be caught by the left fielder, I believe. Tagging up is McGee, and he's going to score. We'll see if the Dutchman appeal here at third. I do believe that McGee tagged up, but the Dutchmen are going to try it anyways, and we'll see. And the umpires are going to say that McGee did wait to tag up. A great diving play, though, by the left fielder, Josh Lee, as I thought maybe Kaluzian was going to sneak that one in. And Lee went to the dive and was able to reel that one in. So Elmira gets onto the scoreboard. It's now a 2-1 game on the sacrifice fly by Chris Kaluzian.
Another hard hit ball by Chris, and that one found its way into the fielder's glove. That was really an excellent play by the left fielder Lee, but he gets the RBI out of it.
And the 1-0 fastball is going to be a called strike to Dixon. Dixon grounded out to the shortstop. Urbeck his first time up. Elmira now trailing just by 1. The pitch from Landgrebe as the bunt laid down. Landgrebe has to rush off the mound. He slips as he throws and is able to get Dixon. A nice play by Landgrebe, but he kind of threw that one awkwardly as he was starting to lose the footing on his back foot. And that will end the inning. But Elmira chips away a little bit at the lead for Albany as it's 2-1 as we head to the bottom of the third inning here at Bob Bleasy Field in Albany, New York. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Dutchmen will come to the plate as they'll be their 2, 3, and 4 batters. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
We received a 4-pack of tickets to an upcoming Dutchman game, and we're looking for program number 79. If you have program number 79, please head to the merchandise tent where you can pick up your prize. And fans, if you haven't gotten your lucky program yet, be sure to pick one up. Pick up as many as you like to increase your chances of winning, as we will be giving away more prizes sporadically throughout tonight's action.
Come back.
And we're back here in the bottom of the third inning at Bob Bleasy Field in Albany, New York. As you're listening to the Elmira Pioneers Baseball Network as the Pioneers take on the Albany Dutchmen. And Taylor Ahern warming up for his third inning of work, and already in this game he's really had a couple of excellent defensive plays behind him to end the last 2 innings. In the bottom of the first inning, it was Chris Kaluzian coming up with a big throw from right field. And then the bottom of the second inning, it was Taylor Hilson starting a 5-4-3 around the horn double play. And now, leading off for the Dutchmen is number 8, Sean Aspinall, their second hitter. And the first pitch from Ahern, breaking ball, and that time he gets the call. A couple of those been very close pitches, but hasn't gotten them. At that time, able to execute right on the outside corner. Too good for the umpire to ignore. Nice job by Ahern with that breaking ball so far tonight.
So now the 0-1 pitch here as another breaking ball. Ahern wanted to go right back to it. This one will miss low and inside. And Sean Aspinall reached on an E4 his first time up and eventually came around to score on an infield ground out. This one swung on right to Walker at second, and this time Walker is able to field it cleanly and pick up the out at second base.
And Walker with a little bit of redemption there after that misplaying that first time that Aspinall hit the ball to him. Also made that nice diving play to just keep the ball in the infield in the bottom of the first inning. So really a little bit of rebound for him, and hopefully he can just keep that up. And Josh Lee now batting for the Albany Dutchmen.
Lee 1 for 1 on the night, and this first pitch is fastball tight inside. Lee flinched a little bit away from that one.
And for Ahern, still trying to get that consistent movement on his fastball. That one stayed a little bit too far up.
And this one's going to be fouled back and over the press box, and that one will get down to the walkway, and it will bounce over into the playground. Nice little souvenir tomorrow for the kids when they head out to the playground.
Yeah, kid actually picked that one up. He was having a catch with his friend, and suddenly, whoa, where did this baseball come from? Lucky souvenir.
Now a 1-1 from Ahern. And this one will be low and away. So the count's 2 balls and a strike. 1 out here we work in the bottom of the third inning from Bob Bellizzi Field in Albany, New York. The Dutchmen lead the Pioneers by a score of 2-1. Elmira getting their run in the top of the third on a sacrifice fly by Chris Kaluzdian as he scored Colin McGee from third base. As McGee cycled his way around, got walked, then moved up on a ground out, and then moved over to third on a wild pitch. And then scored.
Yeah, Colin McGee already contributing at the plate, on the base paths, and behind the plate, making the tag on Chris Kaluzdian's outfield assist at the bottom of the first inning.
And the 2-2 is swung on right at Bellinger at first, and he gloves it. And that's going to be the second out, a hot shot at first. Elmira had that happen to them yesterday in the game against Mohawk Valley in a big spot. They had the bases loaded. They were down by 1. And for Christian Santisteban, he hit a line drive laser right to the first baseman that really kind of killed the momentum for Elmira. Stepping in here now for the Dutchman, it will be the first baseman, Nick Jewett, grounded out to the second baseman, Walker, his first time up. And a big breaking ball here from Ahern, but that one's going to miss for ball 1.
And Ahern, definitely a little bit too hard of contact they would rather see, but gets the out of it, and now he's just 1 out away from escaping this inning and keeping the Pioneers. Now they're down only 1 run. They got a run for him. They've given him some good defense the last couple of innings. Now he's trying to pay it off by just continuing what's been a pretty decent outing so far.
And this one swung on. This is going to be a hit. That gets into the right center field gap. That one's going to go to the wall. Now Kaluzdian scoops it up. He's going to throw to second. The runner's going to second. The tag is not in time, as DeLear was a little too far away from the bag, and he had to kind of move to his left to get a tag down on Jewett. But Jewett just got in there, and still the runners haven't learned that Kaluzdian has an arm out there in right field. They're still trying to test him. And Elmira almost nearly gets out of the inning again in an outfield assist from Kaluzdian. But that'll bring in the designated hitter, Cameron Miller, who is 1 for 1 on the afternoon and has an RBI. But he was the player that was gunned out at the plate to end the first inning on that throw by Kaluzdian.
And for DeLear and the Pioneers, honestly, they may not have thought that the running Jew was going to try to go to second base, but he does. And DeLear called just a little bit out of position, and that was enough for the runner to get in. Very close play, but you only need every inch you can get, and the Pioneers just missing there.
So that'll be the 5th hit of the ball game for the Dutchman. Made 4 in the first inning. Now the 1-0 from Ahern as they call it strike. It catches the outer half of the plate.
Yeah, nice job by McGee not holding his glove too much and getting a strike for his pitcher. And Ahern now the runner in scoring position, but still just 1 out away from getting out of this inning.
Austin Hill, as the pitch is outside, Taylor Hilson at third base playing about halfway here for Elmira. With a left-handed batter in the box. And if Miller's a little bit late on something, can hit it right over to Hilson at third. And now a 2-1 fastball. And framing the black on the inner half of the plate there was Ahern.
Yeah, that was a nice pitch. He's really gotten away quite a bit, and when he's gotten in, it really has not been purposeful. But that time, really able to catch inside corner, and now the hitter has something else to think about, not just going to stay away.
A big pitch here for Ahern. The 2-2 is swung on, popped up high in the air. McGee tosses his mask, and he's going to drop the ball, as it sounded like he heard Hilson call him off. And the ball falls to the ground, so Elmira had the opportunity to try and get out of the inning. But the count will stay at 2 balls and 2 strikes here with 2 outs.
And for Ahern, definitely would rather that ball have been caught, but still 1 strike away from finishing the frame. Just has to stay composed and not let another defensive miscue bother him at all.
Ahern looks at the runner at second. The pitch as a breaking ball. Called strike 3 on the outer half of the plate. And Ahern freezes the batter, Miller. And the Dutchman strand a runner on second. And we've played 3 complete here at Bob Bellizzi Field. And the Dutchmen have a 2-1 lead against the Pioneers. As we'll take a break, as you're listening to Pioneers Baseball on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
I wonder if he heard Hilson. Did Hilson call him off?
I thought Hilson did.
He must.
But Hilson called him off too late.
Yeah, he had no shot at that. I don't know why he did that.
McGee was about to catch it. Hilson.
Yeah, I would just be like, okay, you take it. If he drops it.
No error. That was Hilson like Chris Field, the biggest mistake of the year.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a strikeout. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to start the top of the 4th inning here at Bob Bellizzi Field. Elmira trailing just by a run now. 2-1 is the score. After they got a run back in the top of the 3rd inning on a sacrifice fly by Chris Kaluzian. And a called strike here to start off the inning as Nick Walker steps in to lead off.
Yeah, and the Pioneers, they have a big opportunity here. 3, 4, 5 hitters coming to the plate, Nick Walker, Christian Santisteban, and Zach Bellinger. And there's Walker showing bunt, but taking a ball. Just more pressure on the third baseman. And Walker successfully executed a bunt base hit last night, so he can really bunt.
And the 1-1 will miss here, so the count 2 balls and a strike.
That was an elevated fastball by Landry. It's not something we've seen too often, but that's almost a pitch you want to throw if you think that the batter is bunting. But there, sees he's not bunting, and he just throws the strike on the inside corner right around Walker's knee, and now it's a 2-2 count.
So the 2-2 coming. Walker has yet to swing the bat. The pitch here, and it's going to be a called strike 3, so 5 pitches came the way of Nick Walker, and he yielded his swing at 1, and that's going to be a strikeout for Landgrebe. And with that, coming up to the plate, it'll be the designated hitter, Christian Santisteban.
And Landgrebe, as he delivers a ball down and away to Christian Santisteban for he's really looked very good so far. Already 3 strikeouts, and the only ball that's gone out of the infield was the sacrifice fly by Chris Kaluzian, where the left fielder really made a great diving play to record the out.
So now a 1-1 coming, as this one's outside. Good eye there by Santisteban, as he watched that one sail by him. Santisteban leading the Pioneers in runs driven in this year with 4. This one swung on right back up the middle, and gloved low by the shortstop. The throw is not going to be in time, as I thought that one was surely going to get into center field, but a great effort by the shortstop, Danny Urbeck. And he almost made a highlight reel play on that one, but Santisteban had enough momentum going down the first baseline to beat that one out. And it's going to be a very well-deserved infield single for the Pioneers in their first hit of the ballgame.
Yeah, indeed it is. Actually scored a run without a single hit, but there's that first hit. And nice shot by Santisteban, not getting too confident, even though the ball is going up the middle. But the shortstop makes a great play, but he's running hard enough to beat it out.
And this one by Bellinger, a pop fly to left field. Running over to get it is Lee. And heading back for first and Santisteban. And that will be the second out of the inning. And that will bring in Derek DeLear for the Pioneers.
And he reached his first at-bat on error by the third baseman, and that was the first Pioneers batter to reach. They just got their first hit, and now he's trying to help them to their second run.
Check of the runner at first. The pitch from Landgrebe is going to be a called strike.
And for once, the Pioneers do not have a threat to steal at first base in the designated hitter, Santisteban.
Landgrebe with 3 strikeouts in the game. And a fastball here is a called strike on the arm for the plate. No balls and 2 strikes.
So for Landgrebe, that's now 6 groundouts, 2 flyouts, 3 strikeouts, and only 1 walk. Really a great outing so far. So the Pioneers, you just keep taking your at-bats against him, and you try to make adjustments. We're able to get 1 run across, now they'll try for more.
The 0-2 from Landgrebe is going to be high, as the catcher, Hansen, quickly got up out of his stance there, but Santisteban, don't believe was going anywhere.
And for Landgrebe, it might be a purposeful pitch, try to set up another fastball or breaking ball down in the zone. We'll have to see what he and catcher Hansen try to do here. And
the 1-2 is waved at and missed by DeLear, and that is going to end the inning. So the 4th strikeout of the night for Kevin Landgrebe. And Elmira is going to strand a runner on base as Santisteban had a 1-out single. And we'll head to the bottom of the 4th inning as Elmira trails Albany by a score of 2-1. You're listening to the Pioneers Network here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. Messed that one up.
All right, Dutchman fans, it's time for a Dutchman candy toss. Let's make some noise. Who wants some candy?
No. Man, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Doug Page alongside Robbie Knopf here at Bob Belize Field as the Pioneers in their 5th game of the 2014 season looking to try and go back above 500, and in the process looking to try and hand Albany their first loss of the 2014 season. Albany, the last team currently undefeated in the league at 4-0, as they are both 2-0 at home and 2-0 on the road. As we get set to start the bottom of the 4th inning here, and Taylor Ahern, a fastball, a little miss inside to the leadoff batter, Reed Matthews.
And this is a big inning for Taylor Ahern, probably his final inning. Let's see if he can finish strong.
And a pitch here will miss low and away as that one got off the glove of McGee, as he will get that one back out to Ahern on the mound. Taking a look at the line score here, 1 run on 1 hit and 1 error for Elmira. 2 runs on 5 hits and 1 error for the Dutchman. As this one is a laced foul over towards the Pioneers bullpen, with that one hit off of the fence.
Yeah, no, that's one of those times where you're happy that your bullpen is separated by a wall. That ball is hit very hard, but no danger for the Pioneers bullpen because there's a wall in between them and the ball. And for Aaron, that's a strike. Now we'll try to get that second strike and get right back in this at-bat. He's finally set, and here's the delivery. Breaking ball, and that one's fouled away. And that curveball maybe a little bit higher than Ahern would like, but he wasn't able to induce a swing and get a strike out of that. So that's really the result that you want. Maybe not the process that you want to get there. He's really done a very good job driving that curveball down his zone. That one maybe left just a little bit up.
So here comes the 2-2 from Ahern. The pitch, and that one swung on and again fouled out of play. As Ahern trying to keep this fastball low and inside here against the third baseman Matthews. Matthews 1 for 1 in the game. Had a single back in the first inning. And that led to the out at home on the throw from Kaluzian. And the pitch here swung on. That one's hit out to center field. Dixon settles under, and he's going to make the catch. And that'll be the first out. And that'll bring in the catcher, Hansen, who's also 1 for 1.
And for Ahern, he's really mostly kept the ball on the ground to get his outs. But in that case, he knows that he has some movement on his fastball. He has a great outfield defense behind him, and Dixon is there to make the easy catch for the first out of the inning.
And the catcher, Hansen, for Albany, out of Valparaiso. Jake Hansen just finishing up his sophomore year, so he looks at a called strike 1.
Yeah, another curveball from Ahern, relieving a nice pitch for him. He's thrown up for called strikes quite a bit, now trying to maybe transition with it to also being a swing and miss pitch.
And the 0-1 will miss high here to even the count up. Add a ball and a strike.
And Aaron really has thrown a lot of breaking pitches. Maybe not quite the ideal fastball first approach that you would like, but McGee, the catcher, realizing what's working, and the results really have been fine so far. Only 2 runs across 3 and a third innings. Aaron has best stuff, but he's kept the Pioneers right here in the game. And that one hits the outside corner for a strike, and Ahern is ahead in the count 1-2 on the catcher Hansen. And Ahern really hasn't been blowing the Dutchman away so much, but an opportunity here to maybe record a strikeout. And here's the pitch. Fastball down the zone, and the batter is just able to foul it off. That was a nice pitch by Ahern. Batter really couldn't do much with that except for foul it away. And he went down. Now maybe an opportunity to elevate a fastball and get a weak swing in and out, whether by strikeout or maybe some weak contact to the outfield.
Man, the 1-2 here from Ahern. 1 out in the inning. That one swung on. That's going to be a chopper for the second baseman, Walker, and he makes the flip to Bellinger covering at first. And that'll be the second out. So another ground ball for Taylor Ahern out of Siena, and that will bring in the shortstop, Danny Urbeck, for the Dutchman.
And Walker, who struggled a little bit earlier, and they really got an in-between hop, but he was able to stay with it and fire the first pitch out. Now there are 2 outs here in the bottom of the 4th inning, with the Pioneers trailing the Albany Dutchman by a 2-1 score.
Ahern looks in, gets the sign from McGee. And the pitch is a breaking ball. That one a little low on the inner half of the plate. Definitely like the movement that I've seen from the breaking pitches of Ahern.
Oh yeah, we're really only locating it down and away to righties and down and in to left-handed batters. Really only be able to throw it to that same spot, and the hitters are kind of learning to lay off of it, or at least with 2 strikes able to foul it away. So that's definitely something to build off of for Ahern, but he'll hope to keep learning how to use it better and better.
And this one is swung, and that's going to be a single through the left side as the shortstop Delir for Elmira had no shot at that one, as that was a laser. As the batter Herbeck got a fastball low in the zone that he was able to handle. So with 2 outs and a runner on first, that'll bring in the number 9 batter, Adam Lee. Lee walked in his first at-bat. and then was out on the inning-ending double play back in the second inning.
And Ahern, yeah, walked this guy on 4 pitches last at bat. He'll hope to maybe have a little bit of a better approach this time and get him to end this inning.
So that the 6th hit of the ball game for the Dutchman.
And Ahern, so at 6 hits now in 3 2/3 innings. That's more than you would like, but he's done a pretty good job of pitching out of some tough situations with some help from his defense. Obviously, the Kaluzdian outfield assist and the double play started by Taylor Hilson in the bottom of the 2nd.
And this fastball is going to be outside for ball number 2. With the number 1 batter, Will Miller, in the on-deck circle for the Dutchman.
So 6 straight balls to the number 9 hitter. That's baseball. Wow.
And now the count 2-0, but a throw over to first here as the runner, Herbeck, was back in time. Albany with just 6 stolen bases on the year and 12 opportunities. Ahern, a check of the runner, the pitch, and that one's going to be a called strike. And he's wanting to swing at it was the lead, but had the wherewithal to hold his bat back.
Yeah, and if you're the batter Lee, you know that was just a very good pitch located on the outer part of the plate, and it's a strike, and you'd rather that it wasn't, but you can't do very much of that pitch, so lay off of it, take the strike, and you're still ahead in the count, so don't try to force the issue. That's really a big issue for hitters at this level, recognizing not just when to swing at strikes, but when to swing at strikes that they can do something with.
And now the 2-1 is high and tight inside, as Lee had to back off the plate a little bit to avoid being hit in the hands by that pitch from Ahern.
So now it's behind 3-1 in the count, really hoping to deliver a strike here.
Runner is off from first. The pitch is outside for ball 4. And that is going to keep the inning alive with 2 outs, as it'll be a walk to the number 9 batter, Lee, and that will bring in Will Miller, who's 0 for 2 on the night. A ground out to the first baseman, Bellinger, and also grounded into a 5-4-3 double play to end the 2nd inning.
And here is Colin McGee out to the mound, and it appears that manager Berkshire of the Pioneers is also going to go, I guess, speak to young right-hander to tell him everything's fine, just calm down, get out of this inning, and finish off was an encouraging first outing in a Pioneer uniform. Doug, what have you thought of Ahern so far?
You know, it really looks like Ahern out there on the mound. I mean, obviously a freshman pitcher coming out of Siena, and Siena had a great year making it to the NCAA postseason. Nobody expecting him to make it that far. Definitely showed a lot of poise for the Saints, especially getting the call to throw the MAC championship game and throwing the clincher for Siena as they made their first trip to the NCAA playoffs in over 6 years. And it was a big game for him, and it's an ever-evolving career for Ahern. Had the opportunity to talk with him the first day he arrived into Elmira, and we had him listed as an outfielder on the roster because we knew that he was back and forth between playing in the outfield and pitching, and asked him what he thought he might see more of here, and he said early on he was hoping to see some more pitching rather than playing in the field besides the mound. And looks like that's what early on Pioneers manager Matt Birch is going to try to do here with the freshman. As Elmira does have a pitcher warming up in the bullpen, with runners on first and second here and 2 outs in the bottom of the 4th inning, as that pitch was low in the dirt for a ball. The Dutchman trying to put something together here with 2 outs, as they have Herbeck on second and Lee on first. The pitch here from Ahern is a fastball called for a strike. The count evens up at a ball and a strike.
And Ahern, once again, a little bit of a jam, but he's shown some of the poise that he did to help Siena make the NCAA tournament here in this outing. He hopes to continue that.
And a pitch here, line into right field. That's going to be a foul ball, as chasing for it was the right fielder for Elmira, Chris Kaluzdian. And it looks like the pitcher warming up in the bullpen for Elmira is going to be number 11, Austin Von Herbulis. As Von Herbulis saw action in the game yesterday for Elmira, as he worked a clean inning after Elmira had given up 4 runs to the Diamond Dogs for them to take the lead after trailing 4-1.
And the Pioneers hoping that they won't need to use Von Herbulis until next inning. That's where they go here. You have Ahern get out of this inning, and that last foul ball was pretty close, but if you're the pitcher, that's just a loud strike, and now you hope to, I guess, put away the hitter here.
And Von Herbulis out of Skagit Valley. And a swing and a miss here at a high pitch, and that's going to be strike 3 as Ahern took the batter Miller up the ladder, and they're able to get the out. So we will head here to the top of the 5th inning. After 4 complete here at Bob Belize Field in Albany, New York, the Dutchmen have a 2-1 lead against the Pioneers. And it will be Kevin Landry back out on the mound for Albany. We'll take a break. When we come back, Elmira will get set to hit. This will be their 7, 8, and 9 batters, Grana, McGee, and Hilson. As you're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. What? Yeah. Oh, yeah. Just a second. One hit. No errors. And okay. So I had 2 runs. We're leading off the inning. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as the Pioneers get set to kick off the top of the 5th inning, as Joe Garania will lead off for the Pioneers. And the ball will miss low and outside to him, as the Pioneers outfielder 0 for 1. Garania now going to follow this pitch back to the backstop. So the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
And Doug, you and I were talking about a little bit before the game how the Pioneers have had a very productive offense, but really a very top-heavy offense. The top order is doing most of the work, but last time it was the bottom order putting together a run with Kaluzian just chipping in on that sac fly. And now the bottom order will hope to do some damage again. They just put together 1 run. We'll have a whole new ball game here at Bob Belize Field in Albany. And
the 2-1 is a fastball that Garana catches himself looking at. And that'll even the count up at 2-2. Colin McGee in the on-deck circle for Elmira.
Yeah, Garana still looking for that first Pioneers hit.
And this one will miss outside. So the count goes full to the left fielder. And he quickly gets back into the batter's box. Here comes the payoff pitch from Landgrave. And that one swung on a chopper past the second baseman. And there's going to be the first hit for Joe Garana. And Elmira's got a leadoff base runner. Their 3rd hit of the night. And that's going to bring in Colin McGee. As McGee scored the Pioneers' only run of the game on a sacrifice fly to left field from the Pioneers' leadoff batter, Chris Kaluzian.
And for Garana, a lot to like about him. He's shown some good bat speed, well guarded in left field, and now finally that first Pioneers hit. So a big moment for him, and he's definitely hoping it's going to be the first of many for him this season. And here's McGee, also had a very good first at-bat.
And a pitch here is going to be high and miss for a ball. As it looks like Garana over at first base maybe has the attention of the Dutchman, as he is yet to attempt a stolen base for the Pioneers. Second time that he's been on base since joining Elmira. And now the pitch, and a big hack swung at and missed by McGee. He really wanted to pump up on that swing. And as the count evens up at a ball and a strike.
And then Garana, really another one of these speedy outfielders for your Elmira Pioneers. Unfortunately for him, you have Dixon at center And, of course, Kalu's in right, so he's stuck in left field, but this guy can run.
And a good eye there by McGee as he holds off on the breaking pitch that was in the dirt.
Yeah, did that a couple of times in his first at-bat, and now here he is doing it again. And now he's ahead in the count 2-1, looking for a pitch he can handle, maybe hit the ball hard somewhere. That's really all you can try to do as a hitter.
And another throw over to first as Garano is back in time.
And never hurts with the runner distracting the pitcher just a little bit.
And the pitch is swung on, but that one's going to be fouled over into the dugout by McGee. We saw him do that in his last at-bat, fighting off that inside pitch from Landgrebe.
Yeah, and if you're the hitter in the on-deck circle, that's Taylor Hilson in this instance. You really have to be paying attention because you really never know. The ball could come right at you, and you have to have the wherewithal to get out of the way.
And the 2-2 from Landgrebe is swung on and missed. Actually, is foul tipped, into the glove of the catcher Hansen as McGee just got a piece of that one. As that was a fastball, it looked like right down the heart of the plate. So McGee will get another shot here. The count stays at 2-2. Garwana, a good lead off at first, but now he'll go back as McGee stepped out of the batter's box.
And if you're Garano, I guess you're looking for that breaking pitch from Landgrebe, and if he gets it, that's the pitch you want to run on.
And there it is, and it was in the dirt. Nice job by the catcher Hansen to keep it in front of him, and the count goes full 3 balls and 2 strikes.
So interesting for McGee so far. Nice job laying off the breaking pitches. A couple of fastballs that he swung through, and it's an interesting decision for the Dutchman as they decide how are they going to attack him with this 3-2 pitch.
And another throw over, and that one was a little bit closer of a play as Joe Garwana ever so slightly trying to get a little bit bigger of a lead and trying to get as much leverage as he can over there off of first. Another payoff pitcher from Landgrebe. That one swung at and missed, and it looked like a slider there from Landgrebe. And he had the catcher McGee out on his front foot.
And interesting for the Pioneers and manager Matt Bush that they didn't decide to send Garana, who at first base with some speed there. He had opportunity in that 3-2 count, but he has enough confidence in his offense. No point taking the unnecessary risk and maybe forcing yourself into a strike him out, throw him out double play.
And another throw over to first here is Landgrebe, and the Dutchmen have been very cautious of Garana over at first base. And the pitch is going to be a called strike to Hilson. Hilson on the night, 0 for 1. Grounded out to the third baseman, Matthews, his first time up.
Yeah, that was a big play. Allowed McGee to move to second base, and he eventually scored.
And the pitch is swung on a hit and run by the Pioneers. That's going to be an infield single. Going to third is Garana, as that ball barely trickled to the outfield grass, as that one hit off the lip of the infield. And a nice job of the hit and run executed by Elmira, and that's probably one of the better hit and runs that we've seen executed this year by Taylor Hilson at the plate. And now Elmira threatening with runners on the corners, and their leadoff hitter coming to the plate, trailing by 1 run here to kick off the top of the 5th inning. As it looks like a Chad on the mound for the Dutchman.
And some irony here on that play. So if Garana had any stolen second base, that's going to be a ground out for Taylor Hilson. But with the first baseman needing to hold Garana on, he isn't there. That ball goes right through for a base hit. And now instead of having maybe a runner on third with 2 outs, now the Pioneers have first and third, 1 out, and really their biggest threat of the entire game. And it's going to be up to the pitcher Landgrebe. He's finally in a tough spot, really going to have to go to work out of the stretch. And can he deliver against the hitter Kalusian, and he was able to drive in the run last time he was at the plate.
So Elmira with 1 run on 3 hits and 1 error their line for the Dutchman. 2 runs on 6 hits and 1 error. As it'll be Chris Kalusian stepping into the plate for Elmira, as he's looking to try and pick up a big hit here, with Elmira trailing just by 1 in the tying run on third. The pitch is swung on right to the third baseman. The flip to second. The throw to first in time. And 1 pitch, and that is going to end the inning on the double play as it goes right around the horn, 5-4-3. And Elmira finds themselves still trailing by 1 as we head to the bottom of the 5th inning here from Bob Leasy Field in Albany, New York. We'll take a break. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
Hits it literally anywhere else. They're not going to score.
I know.
Just hit a pull right to third base. Wow.
Fans, the Dutchman would like to thank CDTA for partnering
I need some candy after that.
CDTA Baseball Clinic. The CDTA Come Play Clinics provide free baseball instruction given by Dutchman.
And here's Von Herbalist on the mound.
To Albany youth. Dates and times for the clinics can be found at DutchmanBaseball.com or in tonight's game program. Also, next Friday, June 13th, is CDTA Kids in Free Night. All kids 12 and under will receive free admission with a paid adult, courtesy of
So is this Von Herbalist?
Or is it Hollop?
It's definitely Von Herbalist.
That's Von Herbalist?
I lose my always citizen uniform number to make it a symbol.
I'm pretty sure that is Von Herbalist.
Yeah. How about the 235 more built?
Yeah.
Your attention, please, ladies and gentlemen. Now pitching for the Elmira Pioneers, the right-hander from East Stroudsburg, number 14,
Nope.
Brandon Hollop.
It is Hollop. And it's number 14.
Yep.
We don't. That's not it's not Brendan Dorio.
Can't tell from this distance.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set to kick off the bottom of the 5th inning here at Bob Leasy Field, and a pitching change for the Pioneers as the night for Taylor Ahern is over, and the new pitcher for Elmira will be Brandon Hollop. As Hollop, the 6'7", 235 right-hander out of East Stroudsburg, just finishing up his sophomore year, will make his second relief appearance of the year for Elmira. And he first pitches a called strike here on the thought-to-be bunt attempt by Sean Aspinall leading off the inning.
Yeah, and already here's Colin McGee coming out to the mound. Just wanted to make sure that him and Hop are on the same page. Obviously, their first time working together. Ever. This is McGee's first start. This is Hop's second appearance. So, want to get the signs right, making sure you're executing your pitches as well as possible.
And the 0-1 is a fastball. That one's fouled back to the netting.
Yeah, and Hollop, one of two really tall pitchers here on this Pioneer staff. Him and Von Herbalist are both 6'7". And he's a big right-hander, but he's a guy known really for his ability to command the strike zone and keep his pitches down rather than someone who's going to deliver high-octane velocity and get a lot of swings and misses.
And the pitcher swung on, and that's going to be by the diving Taylor Hilson at third base and into left field for a single. Now the Pioneers are going to overthrow the ball here as Bellinger throws to second. And taking second on the play is going to be Aspinall. So Garuana tried to laser that ball in from left field. Thought he might be able to catch Aspinall sleeping as he rounded first, but it's actually going to go down as an E7 after the single that allows Aspinall to get to second.
Yeah, and Garuana trying to show off his arm. Maybe he thinks that he has a similar type arm strength to Chris Kaluzdian in right, but there, really no major benefit to it, and it costs the Pioneers a really big base here, runner in scoring position now.
So a nice effort there for the base runner, Sean Aspinall, for the Dutchman. So the count is now 0-1 here. Pitching for Elmira is number 14, Brandon Hollop out of East Stroudsburg, the 6'7" right-hander.
Once again, fans, we turn that to the merchandise tent.
Working in a 2-1 ball game here, Elmira trailing the Albany Dutchman by a score of 2-1. And now a runner in scoring position after the single and the error by Garuana, his first of the game and the second of the game for Elmira. And this one is lined foul right over towards the Dutchman dugout.
And for Hollop, you have to like the way he's attacking the strike zone. He was able to get 1 and 2 on the previous hitter, now 0 and 2 now. And the next step is to try to put these guys away. Unable to do that last time, giving up the single and then a subsequent error, and now he's trying to record that big first out of the inning. And here's the 0-2 pitch.
And Hollop gets the batter lead to pop up in foul territory, but that one's going to make it over to the bullpen for the Dutchman.
And like we talked about a little bit earlier, not a lot of foul territory here, and that one just a bit. Van Iver is going to be a tough play anyway. There's a lot of ground to cover, but.
And I actually thought the ball landed in the bullpen as our view obstructed down the right field line, but the right fielder, Chris Kaluznian, was actually able to make the catch, so there's going to be an out in the inning. As stepping in is Nick Jewett. I thought for sure that ball dropped into the bullpen there, but a nice play by Kaluznian as he reached his arm over the fence. So there's one out in the inning, and that will bring in Nick Jewett with a runner on second here for the Dutchman.
And Kaluznian, we've seen so much about his arm, and they're showing up the speed to get to that ball and record the out.
So sorry about the miss up there. As now this one swung on. That one driven well out to center field. Racing back Dixon over his shoulder. He loses the ball. That one's going to fall in, and that's going to be the third run of the game. Now heading for third is Jewett, and he's going to be in with a stand-up triple for the Dutchman, as he got all of that fastball from Hollop. And just like that, the Dutchman increased their lead to 2 as it's now 3-1. And they're still in business with a runner on third. And the designated hitter, Cameron Miller, stepping in, the left-hander. It was 1 for 2 on the night.
And for Hollop, that pitch just ended up in the worst possible place. Not really an overpowering fastball, mostly mid-80s. Now it's ended up waist high and right down the middle, and the hitter Jewett really didn't miss it, drilling the triple. Dixon giving a good effort to try to get to that ball, but just over his head, unable to make the over-the-shoulder catch, and that's a big insurance run for the Albany Dutchman. And here's the first pitch to Miller. That one misses away, and it's a 1-0 count. So Hollop still trying to get his feet under him here in his second appearance as an Elmira Pioneer. Or allowed the 1 run. Now a runner on third with 1 out. The Pioneers, once again, second and short back, so they'll concede another run in exchange for the out.
And a strike called here on the other half of the plate for Hollop.
And for the Pioneers, it really comes back to bite them after Kaluznian grounded into the inning double play. And now here the Dutchmen deliver another run. Instead of a tie game, now Pioneers are trailing by 2. Here's the 1-1 pitch. And it's fouled straight back, kind of on the trajectory towards our little broadcast booth over here. Luckily, there is a net in between. And for Hollop, that's a big strike. Now he's had 1 and 2 in the count. 1 out, runner on third here in the bottom of the 5th inning. And the Elmira Pioneers trailing the Albany Dutchmen by a 3-1 score.
Elmira looking to try and get back into the win column as they've lost their last 2 after starting the season 2-0 with wins over Watertown and Amsterdam. And a pitch here from Hollop is going to miss outside. McGee trying to frame that one, but to no avail. So they count 2 balls and 2 strikes as Jewett leads off of third after his RBI triple. And the pitch here is going to miss again outside for a ball. And for Jewett, that's his second RBI of the year. And that's going to be his second extra base hit of the year. His first triple, he had 1 double on the year before that play. And this one is popped up high in the air. Ranging in for it, the right fielder Kaluznian on the run. And this time the Dutchmen are going to hold the runner at third, as they didn't want to play Russian roulette that time with Kaluznian in right field. And there'll be 2 outs, and the runner will hold at third, as that will bring in Reed Matthews for the Dutchman.
And how about by Kaluznian? Running in, getting to that ball, and he may not have really fielded it in the best possible position to throw, but the Dutchman gets too scared of his arm, and just the presence of Chris Kaluznian potentially saving another run for the Elmira Pioneers there. And Hollop now just 1 out away from getting out of the inning as he deals with Reed Matthews. There's a breaking ball for a strike to begin the at-bat. Nice way to start off. He's ahead 0-1. Always nice to get a head count as a pitcher. It gives you just a lot more options. You can try to stay in the zone. Maybe you could expand the zone, try to get catch the batter being a little bit over aggressive, and then you could be ahead 0-2.
And the pitch here is going to be fouled back and out of play. So the count will go to no balls and 2 strikes.
And Hollop already allowed the run, but that was 1 strike away from getting out of the inning. Couple of catches by Calusian, first on that foul ball that Doug and I couldn't quite see, and then on that little pop fly into shallow right center field, and now he's trying to get that third out of the inning is Hollop.
And here comes the 0-2 delivery. The pitch is swung on a chopper to Hilson at third. He'll look to go across the diamond and gets the out as Bellinger is able to hold on to it. So the Dutchman will strand a runner on third, but they pick up another run on the RBI triple by Nick Jewett, and they lead 3-1 after 5 innings of play from Bob Bellizzi Field here in Albany, New York. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Pioneers will kick off the 6th inning, looking to try and get this game tied back up as they look to try and snap their 2-game losing streak. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network. And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we get set here to kick off the top half of the 6th inning from Bob Bellizzi Field in Albany, New York, as Elmira trailing the Albany Dutchmen by a score of 3-1. And then T.J. Dixon leading things off for Elmira as he swings at this one, chops into the left field. That's going to drop in for a single in front of the left fielder Josh Lee. And Elmira is going to have a leadoff hit here for the 2nd straight inning.
And also for the Pioneers, a really dynamic base runner in T.J. Dixon. As you mentioned before, already has 5 stolen bases, and the entire Dutchman team only has 6. So really someone that can mess with the pitcher and maybe create good opportunities for the hitter at the plate, Nick Walker.
So that will bring in the right-handed hitting, Nick Walker. As Walker looking to try and pick up a hit here tonight. He's 0 for 2. Dixon a pretty good lead off at first. The pitch is high and inside, but Dixon heads back to the bag.
And when you have a speedy runner at first base, as a pitcher, you want to throw more fastballs. You want to give your catcher a better chance of throwing the runner out, but that approach doesn't always work, especially if the hitter's a good fastball hitter like Walker is.
And a pitch here on the inner half of the plate. There's a called strike to Walker. So the count is 1-1 strike. Elmira with a leadoff runner here. And as T.J. Dixon picks up the hit, the 4th of the night for Elmira. Now the pitch here from Landgrebe is going to be swung on and missed for strike 2.
Yeah, beautiful breaking pitch by the right-hander out of Texas A&M Corpus Christi. And Walker now behind in the count 1-2, hoping to keep this at-bat alive. And here's the pitch. Another breaking ball, and that one didn't have quite the depth of the previous pitch, and it's going to miss just high. And Walker will live to see another pitch. It's now a 2-2 count. You know, Walker, one of the best Pioneers hitters in the early going, entering the game hitting .455. But 0-2 thus far, and the Pioneers certainly hoping that he's due to pick up another hit.
And the count, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Dixon, he's stolen 5 bases on the year. Leads off first. He's taking up for second. Got a great jump. And Walker swings and misses at strike 3 at the plate. So Dixon gets the stolen bases. He was off well before Landgrave even started his delivery, but he didn't know what was going on. That lightning speed of Dixon. Really don't even know if any human could have reacted that quick to see that Dixon was taking off for second. One look, he's there. Next look, he's gone.
That's almost a situation where the pitcher steps off. He still might not get him. Dixon just had a great jump right there, and there's stolen base number 6. So he has now tied the Albany Dutchman in stolen bases. Pretty unbelievable. And probably not stealing third here, but big runner in scoring position. And
Christian Santissimon's going to hit a ground over to first, and the first baseman will flip it over to the pitcher. So Jewett flipped it to Landgrave, and that'll be the second out of the inning. But moving over to third will be T.J. Dixon. So that'll bring in the Pioneers' first baseman, Zach Bellinger. And Bellinger 0 for 2 on that. He struck out and popped up to the left fielder. And Elmira trying to get their second run of the ball game and close this lead to just 1 for Albany. Now a chopper high off the plate over towards first. Bounce off of the grass, and a flip to the pitcher. Landgrave is just able to get the runner Bellinger, so Elmira again unable to cash in on a leadoff hit as the Pioneers strand Dixon at third. And we will head to the bottom of the 6th inning for the Dutchmen as they lead 3-1 here at Bob Belize Field. As we'll see if Elmira will go a new pitcher or if Brandon Hollop will come back out to the mound. And it looks like it will be Hollop coming back out after he pitched the 5th inning and did allow a run on the RBI triple by Nick Jewett, but was able to stop the scoring at just the 1 run after he came in for relief of the starter Taylor Ahern for Elmira, who went 4 innings and gave up 2 runs on 6 hits, as he was able to strike out 2 batters on the night in his first start of the season for Elmira.
Yeah, and now Hollop, the priority really is keeping this deficit at only 2. Nice job getting out of that jam after allowing only 1 run, and now the 6-7 right-hander is trying to keep the deficit right where it is. For the Pioneers, I mean, you trust in your offense. They've had some missed opportunities with runners in scoring position, but especially this top of the lineup has really been so dynamic, and you keep putting runners on base, you're going to get some runs across, but you just have to make sure that the game is within reach if you are going to come back.
Leading off for the Dutchman, it's the catcher from Valparaiso.
And we are finally set to begin the bottom of this 6th inning. And heading to the plate is going to be number 23 for the Dutchman, and that's catcher Jake Hansen. And here's going to be the first pitch from Hollop. Him and McGee have agreed on the pitch. And here it comes. And that one is a strike, outer part of the plate. McGee couldn't quite field it cleanly, but and he's going to go with the mound. Maybe a little bit of a cross up there, but the umpire correctly calls it a strike. So a little bit of luck there. Maybe the wrong pitch, but that pitch worked out, as Hollop will be ahead 0-1 in the count. Yeah, McGee comes to mound just to clarify exactly what happened, and looks like him and Hollop are now back on the same page. Just a quick discussion, just go over the signs one more time. Always want to be throwing the right pitch. And here comes his 0-1 offering. That one, elevated fastball, and that one is swung at and missed by Hansen. Hollop is not an overpowering pitcher, but when you throw that fastball up and you can entice the batter to swing, it's still very difficult to do. Every fastball up is going to seem a couple mile per hour harder. That one slings one down to zone. That's going to be low. So Hollop really attacking his zone quite a bit there. That was one of his few pitches that's really been outside of it. Sometimes you worry about a pitcher is attacking his zone too much, really throwing too many strikes, not enough quality strikes. And there's a breaking ball. Ended up right down the middle. Will go for a base hit in the left center field. And Garana carefully bringing it in, just throwing it to the shortstop, Delir, making sure that one doesn't get away. And that will be a leadoff base runner for the Albany Dutchmen here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
So that will be the 9th hit of the game for the Dutchmen. And that will bring in the shortstop, number 7, Danny Herbeck. After Hansen picked up his 2nd hit of the night, he's going on a pitch in the dirt. And the runner going to be called safe after the throw from McGee was in the dirt.
And it really looked like McGee had a chance there, except a lot of things to contend with. First off, you have the hitter showing bunt, just delaying McGee's reaction time just a little bit. That might throw it off his timing on the play, resulting in the poor throw to second base, and the runner just barely sneaks in. Even more notable, that's a catcher who just stole a base, so interesting to see who's running for the Albany Dutchmen.
Man, the pitch here from Hollop, checking the runner on second, and the pitch is going to be low for a ball, so the count is 2-0.
And here's a big pitch for Hollop. Once again, there's a runner in scoring position. This time there's nobody out, and he has to find a way to execute his pitches and work out yet another jam. Pioneer starting to get someone warming, and that is going to be number 16, which is Austin Hill. And that would be his first appearance of the year for the Pioneers. Is that correct, Doug?
That would be correct. First time that Austin Hill would get into a game for Elmira after playing for the Pioneers last year. And the son of Pioneers assistant coach Brian Hill, who did not make the trip with Elmira for this 2-game road trip. And as a single here into right field for Danny Herbeck, gives him his 2nd hit of the night, and it gives the Dutchmen their 10th. And now they've got runners on the corners with nobody out, and a 3-1 lead.
And Kalusian's arm preventing the runner from scoring there. He was rounding the bag, and most likely, so you're going to take the risk and send him. But there, the Dutchman electing to hold the runner up. And first and third and nobody out, at least no runners in so far. And for Hollop, he has to get some kind of weak out here, whether a strikeout or a pop out, and then chance out to inning double play with the runner still on first base.
So that'll bring in the second baseman, Adam Lee. And a throw over to first here, back safely is Herbeck. Adam Lee has yet to register an official at bat tonight. He's been walked both times he's come to the plate. First in the 2nd inning and then in the 4th inning. And both times he has not got past first base. Now the pitch from Hollop. He lays down a bunt. Hollop's going to go home, and the runner is safe. Now the runner is going to third, but nobody is covering. So Danny Herbeck is going to go from first to third on the play as Hilson was charging in for the bunt attempt, and covering second was Delir. So it's now a 4-1 ball game on the suicide squeeze. And now again the Dutchman will have runners on first and third, and here comes Matt Birch to the mound as he'll call this whole infield in, and this might be the pitching change as it looks like Birch getting set to go to his back pocket. We'll see if he decides to pull Hollop here or if he lets him face Will Miller, the leadoff batter for the Dutchman.
And for Hollop, he made the aggressive play there, trying to get out at home, but he hesitated for just a moment, and that was enough. Pretty quick runner coming down the line, especially on a suicide squeeze where he's basically going. He would have been in trouble if the batter was unable to make contact on that bunt. And the runner is able to sneak in, and that's going to be the 4th run for the Albany Dutchmen. They lead this one 4-1 now. And the Pioneer just desperate to keep the deficit right over here.
So again, runners on the corners here for the Dutchman, as there was an alert play by Herbeck to notice that there was no third baseman for Elmira, as Hilson was in covering for the bunt, but the bunt went to the first base side, and it was almost as good of a job Hollop could do getting off the mound for his 6'7" frame, but just too much speed from the runner Hansen at third. And that will bring in Will Miller now with the Dutchman leading 4-1. So for Lee, he reaches on the fielder's choice. He takes the lead, as well does the runner Herbeck at third. The pitch comes home, and it's a called strike to the batter, Will Miller. Miller 0 for 3 on the night, is struck out, grounded out, and grounded into a double play.
Yeah, Pioneers playing a double play out, then they'd trade 2 outs for another run to Albany.
And a pitch here is swung on, the flip to second by Hilson, the flip to first, not in time. And the Dutchmen are going to score a run. As heading home from third was Herbeck, and Elmira's only able to get the out at second, as flying down the line was the speedy Will Miller. So it's now a 5-1 game. And they'll have a runner on first in Miller, and that'll bring in the right fielder, Sean Aspinall. Aspinall on the night has been on base twice, has reached on an error, also singled and grounded out to the second baseman, Walker. Pitcher is a strike at the plate, the throw to second by McGee, and it's going to be a bouncer, so it'll be a stolen base for the runner, Will Miller.
And Miller and the Dutchman, are really changing their fortunes on the base paths in this game. They've been aggressive against Colin McGee, and so far he's been unable to fill them out. So they're running, and that's a big stolen base by Miller, and now the Dutchman can't hit into a conventional low play. Line drive, one always a possibility.
And the pitch is swung on. The second baseman, Walker, will field it and throw it first after it was redirected by the pitcher, Hollop. And the runner, Miller, will advance to third on the play after he stole second earlier in the at-bat to Aspinall. So 2 outs in the inning now, and Josh Lee will step in. Lee flew out to the right fielder, Kaluzdian, his last time up. He's 1 for 3 on the night, singled and scored back in the first inning. Now hits it right back to Hollop. Hollop will take his time, fields it to first, and that will end the inning. But the Dutchmen pick up 2 runs in the bottom half of the inning, and they will lead 5-1 after 6 complete here at Bob Belize Field as the Pioneers come to bat in the top of the 7th, now trailing by 4. We'll take a break. When we come back, the Pioneers will kick off the 7th inning with Delir, Gruana, and McGee set to come to the plate. You're listening to Pioneers Baseball here on the Elmira Pioneers Broadcasting Network.
And welcome back to Elmira Pioneers Baseball as we begin the top of the 7th inning here at Bob Belusi Field in Albany, New York, as the Elmira Pioneers trail the Albany Dutchmen by a 5-1 score. And we finally have a new pitcher here for the Dutchmen, as Kevin Landgrave finally departs after 6 strong innings, allowing us 1 run on 4 hits, striking at 6 while walking us 1. The new pitcher is number 52, Austin Goki, a right-hander.
And for Goki, a freshman out of Wagner, out of Bordentown, New Jersey, 6'5", 185, a right-hander, as he will face Derek DeLear to lead off the inning, and a strike is called, so the count quickly, no balls and 2 strikes. Doug Page alongside rubbing off here as Elmira trails by 4 now after the Dutchman plated 2 runs in the last half inning, and a swing and a miss there on a strike 3, as that'll be the first out of the inning for Elmira. And that will bring Joe Garana to the plate for the Pioneers. Had a single in his last at-bat, picking up his first hit as a Pioneer.
Now batting the left fielder from Old Dominion, number 24, Joey Guarana.
Yeah, and Garana with a nice swing last time up, and the Pioneers neared another base runner, and Garana will hopefully give it to them.
So for Elmira in the game, 1 run on 4 hits and 2 errors. For the Dutchman, 5 runs on 10 hits and 1 error. There's a nice breaking pitch there from Goki, as that'll make the count no balls and 2 strikes.
And here's the 0-2. That one got him right at the corner, and that'll be 2 straight strikeouts to begin the outing for Austin Goki.
As the inside pitch throws the batter, Grania, and that will bring in the catcher,
Out of Cornell, number 23,
Colin McGee.
And ladies and gentlemen,
As McGee struck out in his last at-bat, but McGee has been on base once tonight and came around to score. He walked back in the 3rd inning for Elmira.
Yeah, that breaking ball misses down, and McGee quickly ahead in the count, 1-0. Here's the 1-0 offering from Goki.
And a fastball will paint the outside corner here. As Elmira trying to keep the inning alive against the fresh arm out of the bullpen, Austin Goki. And the 1-1 offering is a fastball, as McGee tried to get all of it that he could, but couldn't square up the baseball.
And Goki really showing a power arm so far, maybe hitting his fastball up to maybe 93, 94 miles per hour, and Pioneers hitters just can't catch up so far.
And the 1-2 is going to be outside and actually get by the catcher, Hansen. Taking a look at the pitching stats for Albany, and for Austin Goki, this will be his 2nd appearance for the Dutchman, and the 2-2 is going to miss for a ball, and the count goes full, 3 balls and 2 strikes. As on the air, he's pitched 2/3 of an inning, walked 2 batters, struck out 1, and that's what he's done coming into this one. And this one is well driven out to center field, racing back to center fielder Miller, and on the run he's able to make the catch, and that'll be allowed out number 3 for Elmira as we've reached 7th inning stretch time here at Bob Belusi Field. And tomorrow night the Pioneers will return home after their 2-game road trip as they'll welcome in the Newark Pilots. First pitch scheduled for 7:05 p.m. as it's guaranteed win night against the Pilots. And Elmira would like to pick up a win in front of their home crowd after they went 1-1 on opening weekend that saw over 7,000 fans come through the gates of Dunfield. As Elmira was able to pick up a huge win in their home opener against the 2-time defending PGCBL champion and the Amsterdam Mohawks, as they picked up a huge 3-2 win, and then fell into the hands of the Newark Pilots by a score of 12-2. As it looks like a new pitcher for Elmira will be number 16, Austin Hill, the 6-foot, 180-pound right-hander out of Big Flats, New York. As Hill calls Ithaca College his home, just finishing up his sophomore year, his 2nd stint with Elmira. As he warms up, and he will face the 4, 5, and 6 batters for the Dutchman, Jewett, Miller, and Matthews, barring any pinch hitters here.
And Hill, one of a couple players for the Pioneers who it's early in their collegiate careers, and they're still trying to figure out, are they primarily a pitcher? Are they primarily a position player? And Hill, he was a pitcher for the Pioneers last time around, but this past season at Corning Community College, well, at least 2 years ago now, he was able to play a little bit of both. This year he was transferring to Ithaca and had a little bit of an injury issue, so he was unable to play. And he's a guy who's really trying to establish himself on the mound. And Pioneers putting him in a spot where they're down by 4 runs, and you need him to really keep the deficit right there if they have any hope of coming back. And in the top of the 8th inning, they have Hilson, and then the top of the order in Kaluzian and Dixon. So this game isn't over by any means, but they're going to be up to Austin Hill to really keep their probability of coming back at a reasonable number instead of just making the deficit larger and larger. And before the inning starts, here's McGee coming out to talk to Hill, maybe just discussing the signs, discussing how they want to start this first hitter. And always nice just to have some communication between the pitcher and catcher. Definitely want to be on the same page all the time. And for the Albany Dutchmen, the leadoff hitter is going to be their 3rd place hitter, the 4th place hitter, excuse me, Nick Jewett.
Jewett 2 for 3 on the night with an RBI, as he's got a double, a triple, and a ground out, as he now has 3 extra base hits on the year. He had 1 coming into the game. That was a double. Now finds himself with 2 doubles and a triple, as that triple plated the only run for the Dutchman in the 5th inning that at the time gave them a 3-1 lead. And the count is 1-1 to him, with Hill working on the mound for Elmira.
Here's the 1-1, and it's popped in the air. Foul territory. We'll be able to get it.
And this one at the fence is going to get out of bounds this time. So the count will be a ball and 2 strikes.
And Hill early on showing a fastball with some nice movement away from the right-handed hitter Jewett. And so far has been able to come out, throw a couple of strikes, and now looking to put him away and to make sure the leadoff runner does not get aboard. Here's the 1-2 delivery. Some kind of breaking pitch, and it hit off of the running Jewett, and he'll be awarded first base.
So that'll be the first hit batter of the game for either team. And it'll be a leadoff base runner for the Dutchman. So it'll be the 3rd time tonight that Jewett has been on base. And that'll bring in the designated hitter, number 20, Cameron Miller.
And good pitcher Hill, that's definitely a little bit frustrating. You're having to count 1 and 2. You decide to throw your breaking ball for the first time in the game, and it just gets away from you a little bit, hits the runner, and now instead of being ahead in the count, he's on first base. So it's up to Hill now to try to make up for it and see if he could retire the hitter currently at the plate.
As we approach the 2-hour-old mark of this game, a chop right to second, Walker the flip to short, Delaire the turn to first, and it's going to be high. And it'll pull Bellinger off the bag. He's able to glove it. So safe at first will be Miller, as Elmira gets the lead runner on the fielder's choice, and that'll bring in the 3rd baseman, Reed Matthews.
And that was really a fine turn at second base by Nick Walker, because the ball was hit a little bit too softly to have a reasonable chance at the double play. Delaire did what he could. Threw it a little bit high. Bellinger with a nice play to make sure it didn't get past him and allowed the runner to advance beyond first base.
Hill checks the runner at first. He delivers home. And the first pitch will miss for a ball. Matthews, 1 for 3 on the night, singled all the way back in the 1st inning. And since then has flied out to the center fielder Dixon and grounded out to Hill. Hilson at 3rd base. And this one's going to miss low in the dirt. It's the count 2-0. As the Albany Dutchmen lead the Pioneers 5-1 here in the bottom of the 7th inning from Bob Belize Field. in Albany, New York. Well, the 2-0 offering is a breaking ball, little miss. On deck for the Dutchman, the catcher, number 23, Jake Hansen. Hill will check the runner again at first. That's Miller, the pitch, and this one's going to be outside. And that will be ball 4. So runners on first and second now here for the Dutchman. And Jake Hansen will step in. He's 2 for 3 on the night and came around to score his last time up in the 6th inning.
And Hansen, yeah, he's really been a thorn in the Pioneers' side so far this game. He's drawn a couple of walks, and then he came around to score on the suicide squeeze play last inning. But Hill able to start him with a strike, and that's exactly what you want. Get ahead in the count, makes things quite a bit easier. And we saw last inning, Hansen with a stolen base, a little bit quicker than your average catcher, but still a double play candidate.
And now a good pitch here on the 0-1 as that catches the inside part of the plate. So the count, no balls and 2 strikes. Runners on first and second for the Dutchman. Stepping back in is Hansen. He awaits the pitch. As Hill checks second, now delivers. That one's swung on. That one's going to be short into center field in front of Dixon. Dixon throws to second, but it's not going to be in time, and now that skips away from Walker, but it popped right over to the first baseman, Bellinger. So bases are going to be loaded here for the Dutchman on a single by Jake Hansen, his 3rd hit of the night. And that's the 11th hit of the ballgame for Albany. And that will bring in the shortstop, Danny Herbeck, who is also 2 for 3 on the night. And he scored his last time, as he scored on the attempted double play that Elmira could not turn, as they got the lead runner at second, but were unable to get the runner at first. So Albany trying to threaten, up by 4 here in the bottom of the 7th inning.
And Doug, how about these bottom of the order hitters by Albany?
Definitely have been impressed here tonight, as Albany, their 7, 8, and 9 batters, now with 7 hits of the 11 for the Dutchman. And this one is a chopper in the infield. Hilson goes home, and the force out on a nice grab by the catcher, McGee, as McGee had to go into the Olay stretch there. And is lucky that he was able to get back up from that, as a very athletic play. So the bases will stay loaded now with 2 outs in the inning.
And that was exactly the play all out. Hilson had to bare hand that one, gets it, leaves it though a little bit low, but great catch by McGee to get the force at home plate. And now 1 out away from escaping the inning is Hill. And that's a great way to start this at-bat. It's a beautiful breaking ball for the swing and miss against the 9th hitter, Lee.
So Adam Lee steps in. He has walked twice and reached on a fielder's choice. So he's been on base all 3 times, and yet has still not been able to get past first base as the ball here pops away from the catcher, McGee, but it went right towards the third base side. So the runner at third, Matthews, had to hold and was not able to advance. The count is a ball and a strike.
And McGee would have loved to field that cleanly, but the bottom line, you have to keep the ball in front of you, and he does that, preventing the runner from advancing and trying to score.
Lee watches the 1-1 pitch miss low for a ball.
And Hill behind the count 2-1, and this is a very big pitch for him. Definitely don't want to go to a 3-1 count with the bases loaded. And defense has made some nice plays. Just let your defense record his final out for you. Just deliver a nice pitch here.
And a strike called here. Nice pitch from Hill.
And Hill, after a couple of breaking balls that didn't really break the beginning out, including the hit batsman, he's really delivered quite a few good ones. A couple called strikes, a big swing and miss, and that has really helped turn his outing around in the last couple batters.
Hilson is going to step off the mound here. It looked like he was set to deliver the 2-2, but he'll take a breather. And he'll look in again to get a sign from the catcher, Colin McGee. And the 2-2 offering is swung on and fouled back And that one is right off the top of the press box, as that one was able to bound down into the walkway behind the ballpark, as that one just skimmed the top of the netting.
Yeah, and kids really running after it. They all want that souvenir, and one lucky kid comes away with it. Seen a couple of those in this game.
So another 2-2 from Hill to pitch, and that's a big breaking ball that stayed high in the zone, but really nothing that Lee could do with it, as he had to turn out of the way. And now it's a full count, 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the inning, and the bases are loaded with Dutchman. And the bottom of the 7th inning, the pitch from Hill is swung on. That one's hit out to left field. Going back for it at the wall is Guarana, and he makes the catch at the warning track. And Albany is going to strand the bases loaded. So Austin Hill is able to get out of the inning without allowing a run. And we will head to the top of the 8th inning. Elmira trailing Albany by a score of 5-1. And Robbie, that was a big out there for Austin Hill to keep Elmira into this game down by 4 and really not allow Albany to open up the gates there and bring in some runs when it looked like they were poised to do so, as they had bases loaded at one point with 1 out. And Austin Hill's able to get out of the inning.
That's really a high-pressure situation for Austin Hill. It's a spot where if he's able to deliver and keep the Dutchman off the board, then it's a 4 deficit. If he comes apart, then all of a sudden this game is out of reach, and the Pioneers really not much they can do, as they hope to avoid their 3rd straight loss. But he's able to get a little help from his defense. That big 3-2 count doesn't get any more pressure than 3-2, bases loaded, and if you throw a ball, that's ball 4. I'll see a hit can mean 1 or even more runs. That Hill just finds a way to get out of the inning. A 3-2 fastball, and the hitter just laid on it. It's a fly ball to left field. And here, the Pioneers in the top of the 8th, they're going to take their hacks again against Austin Gotke and hope for better results than last inning, in which Gotke struck out 2 in a perfect frame.
And as the Dutchmen come back out here for the top of the 8th inning, it looks like it will be Austin Gotke back out of the mountain for the Dutchman, after he was able to work a 1-2-3 inning in the 7th, as he picked up 2 strikeouts. So it'll be the 9-1-2 batters for Elmira. Hilson, Kaluzdian, and Dixon trailing 5-1 here from Bob Belize Field in Albany, New York.
And Doug, here's the 9-1-2 spots in the batting order that was really so big for the Pioneers yesterday, and here they are again as the Pioneers desperate to start something of a rally and get back in this ball game. Hilson with a single in his last at bat on that beautifully executed hit and run with Guarana at first base.
Leading off for Elmira, the 3rd baseman from Mansfield, number 5.
So that will bring in Taylor Hilson out of Mansfield to lead off the top of the 8th inning for Elmira. And the pitch from Gotke is going to be high for ball number 1.
And for the Pioneers, as you realize, you need several base runners to have a chance at tying the game. So you just want to stay patient in your approach and not try to force anything, and see if the pitcher can either give you some down or make a mistake that you can handle. And there, Hilson with foul ball. Pitch, Hilson shows bunt, takes that one low. Nice job pulling that bunt at the last possible second, and now he's ahead to count 2-1. Third baseman coming in, gets the step, and I'll see if that helps Hilson moving forward. And that one from Gotke is a strike right on the outer part of the plate. So now it's going to be 2-2 to the leadoff hitter Hilson here in the top of the 8th inning. Next pitch from Gotke. Lined over the head to second baseman. That'll be Hilson's 2nd straight hit. He entered the game with 2 hits and 14 at-bats for a 167 average. And now he finds himself 4 for 16, and I can do that math in my head. That's 250.
So it'll be a leadoff base runner for the Pioneers, and that will bring in Chris Kaluzdian for Elmira. So that'll be the first hit that Gotke has given up in his relief appearances for the Dutchman. And this one is going to be swung on, and that was a healthy cut. Watch out on the walkway as that one hit in front of a fan that was probably heading towards the bathrooms. And he'll get a souvenir.
Kalusian with a big hack there to hope to get another big hat and maybe direct it into field of play this time.
And a breaking ball here from Goki. That one not as polished as the other breaking balls that we've seen him here.
He really has delivered a few nasty ones that have forced swings and misses, but a nice job by Kalusian. Not be too aggressive. I guess taking it for a ball, and now it's a 1-1 count.
And the pitch is going to be fouled back and out of play again by Kalusian. So the count will go to a ball and 2 strikes.
And Kalusian is able to make contact on the 2 fastballs he's seen from Goki in this at-bat. Breaking ball is left up, so let's see if Goki trusts that breaking ball to come back with it again, or whether he just throws another fastball and see if Kalusian can miss it or just put it into play weakly. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Breaking ball, and it's popped into center field. Will somebody be able to get it? Looks like the center fielder will, and he will make the catch, and that's the first out of the inning. So 1 away here in the top of the 8th inning.
And T.J. Dixon will step in for the Pioneers in the left-handed batting box.
Now batting the center fielder out of Sanford, number 1, T.J. Dixon.
And Dixon had a little bit of a rough night, but last at bat able to single and steal a base, maybe as far as third, but unable to score him was the subsequent Pioneers. And Dixon trying to make something happen again. The Pioneers have a runner on first base with 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. They're down by 4 runs, so their first priority is just getting base runners. Let's see if Dixon can be another base runner for them right here. Breaking ball by Goki, and that's a called strike. Dixon quickly behind in the count 0-2. Hitter has good play discipline. He led Sanford in walks this season, and now he'll have to that 2-strike discipline really key here as he tries to keep the set-bat alive. That one, fastball gets off the plate, and Dixon takes it for a ball. And Dixon, the speedy center fielder, did a lot of good things for the Pioneers this season, and the Pioneers hoping for one more highlight right here. And here is the 1-2 pitch.